All right, let's talk about something new, a kind of hidden penalty that might be making your business totally invisible in this new age of AI. And get this, it has nothing to do with your budget. It has everything to do with how clear you are. Let's dive in. I want you to just stop and really think about this for a second. When a potential customer pulls up an AI and asks for a recommendation, for a plumber, a coffee shop, whatever, does your business even make the list? For most small businesses, the honest answer is probably a pretty uncomfortable no.
And here's the absolute heart of the issue. You're not getting overlooked because you're small or because you don't have a huge marketing budget. You're being ignored for one simple reason. The information you have out there is confusing, and the AI just can't make sense of it.
So this leads us to this brand new idea we're calling the trust tax. It's basically the price you pay for being unclear. And understanding this tax is the key to figuring out why you might be losing out on a whole new wave of customers.
So what is it exactly? Well, the trust tax is what happens when an AI scans your business info, gets confused by it, and just decides, you know what, I'm going to recommend someone else instead. It's a penalty you pay for being ambiguous. Simple as that.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We're on a totally new playing field now. Being clear is way more important than being big. A one-person operation with crystal clear pricing is going to beat a huge company that's still using that old, vague, call us for a quote line every single time. To really get why this happens, you kind of have to think like an AI. These things are programmed to avoid being wrong at all costs. They hate making mistakes. So when they look at your website and they're not 100% sure about your prices or your exact service area, the safest move for them is to just not mention you. They'd rather leave you out than risk a bad recommendation. Okay, so what actually makes an AI look at your business and think, nope, too risky? Well, it usually comes down to a few really common and totally fixable mistakes. Let's walk through the 5 biggest triggers.
All right, here are the big ones. First, vague pricing. Using words instead of actual numbers. Second, unclear service areas that make an AI guess where you work. Third, inconsistent business hours across different websites. Fourth, all that marketing fluff that sounds great to humans but means nothing to a machine. And last, a lack of structured data, which is special code that basically spoon-feeds information to search engines. Sound familiar?
Let's start with pricing. Look, phrases like affordable rates or competitive pricing are totally useless to an AI. There's no data there. What it needs are hard numbers, a clear price range, a starts-at price. That's real information it can actually use to help someone. And it's the exact same story with your service area. Serving the metro area, what does that even mean? Does it include the specific suburb a user is asking about? The AI has no idea, so it won't risk it. But if you list out the specific towns you serve or give a clear mile radius, now the AI has the certainty it needs to recommend you. Oh, and this one's a biggie. We've all been trained to use these big, persuasive words in our marketing, right? But an AI couldn't care less about your award-winning service. It can't compute that. What it needs are nouns and verbs, facts, water heater installation, drain cleaning, 24/7 emergency repairs, a simple, factual list.
Okay, let's see how this all plays out in a real-world scenario. Picture this. It's 9 p.m. on a Friday, it's 100 degrees out, and someone's air conditioner just dies. Their first move? Ask an AI for help, fast. This chart right here shows you everything. Look at Company A. They're vague on every single critical point, where they work, when they work, and what it costs. But Company B, they're perfectly clear. For the AI, this is a no-brainer. It's not about which company is better. It's about which company gives it the clear, unambiguous data it needs to make a recommendation without any risk.
And here is the really dangerous part for local businesses. When an AI can't find a clear local option, what does it do? It defaults to the big national brands. Not because they're better, but because they have entire teams making sure their data is perfect. Suddenly, you're not just competing with the shop down the street. You're competing with any company in the country that is clearer than you are.
But it's not all bad news. Actually, this is great news, because this is not a problem you solve by throwing a ton of money at it. This is a problem you solve with clarity. So let's talk about how you can turn this whole thing into your new secret weapon.
You can actually figure this out for your own business right now. Just ask these simple questions. Can an AI confidently find your exact prices? Can it confirm you serve a specific town? Does it know for a fact if you're open right this second?
Can it pull a factual list of your services? Every no you get is a tax you're paying in lost business.
And this is the key. You do not need a massive budget or a fancy agency to fix this. What you need is to be brutally honest with yourself about where your information is vague, and then just commit to making it clear and consistent absolutely everywhere. Your website, your Google profile, everywhere.
So the playbook is actually pretty straightforward. List your prices, or at least a range. Name the actual cities you serve. Make sure your hours are identical everywhere online, and just swap out all that marketing fluff for a straight-up, factual list of what you do. That's it. That's how you win.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Right now, I can almost guarantee you the vast majority of your competitors are paying this trust tax. They are completely invisible to AI, and that creates an absolutely massive opportunity for you. By choosing clarity, you can become the AI's go-to trusted choice. So the question is, are you going to take it?